So now we're going to start on our fletchings, and I just have 3 turkey feathers. They're about the same size. And what I want to do is I want to split all 3 down the middle, and then I want to go on to separate the quill. And I'll just take my Swiss tool and I'll work on one fletching at a time. And I just go real slow at this. I just take my knife and I'll run the blade down the center of the quill. Just like this. And once you ran your knife down all 3 quills, you can proceed to separate the quill right down the center. So I'll just pinch up top and I'll run my hand down, lay a feather to the side. It's a bit windy, so I want to make sure they don't fly away. And at this point, I'm going to start thinning the quill and proceed to remove that inner pith. So I'll be back with you guys once this is done. Okay, so we finished our feathers and now it's time to fletch our dart. And then this thing will be complete. So what I've done is, again, we just removed that pith on the feathers. We thin that quill. And I have my feather soaking in water so it expands the quill, and that helps with the fletching process. It just makes things a bit easier to work with. I also have a few tools I'm going to use. I have my Swiss Army knife. I'll be using the scissors quite frequently. I have a couple pieces of sinew, and then I have some thin thread along with some hide glue. So the hide glue is in this little coal burn container that I made. And the first thing I want to do, since these have been sitting for a few minutes here, is I just want to kind of shake off the excess water. I don't want it to be soaking wet, but again, we want to let that feather react to the water. And I'll start with each individual feather. And I just want to run hide glue on the bottom of this quill. I'll just take a sharp willow stick, and this seems to work quite well. And I'll just kind of run it down that center. I want to make sure I'm careful with this because I don't want that glue touching the feather. And I'll just continue on. I'll do that to all 3 feathers, and then we'll lash them on. So at this point, we have our fletchings on, and I just want to take this thin red thread and just wrap it from the bottom all the way up top. So I want to pierce the thread in between each feather. and that'll just bind these feathers down on tight. One thing you want to do as you're wrapping is you want to pull the thread tight too. You don't want a loose thread on this dart or even an arrow shaft, because that won't hold these feathers down. So once I have my feathers lashed onto my dart, I'll just take some water and I'll run it on the feather, on each individual one, and I'll get the feathers bound together again. And at this point, I can let the hide glue dry. Usually that takes about 2 to 3 days out here.